There are two words people use for the same cold thing, and they are not the same thing. One of them was, in a sense, built in before birth. The other was forged later by damage. And telling them apart is not trivia. It tells you how much danger you are actually in and what kind. You have met at least one of them, and you may have spent years afterward turning it over, asking the question everyone asks and almost no one answers cleanly. Which one was that? Was he broken, or was he made that way? Because the answer quietly changes everything about how you should have protected yourself. I am going to give you the clean distinction, and then I am going to take part of it back, honestly, because the honest version is the useful one. First, the words themselves, and the one fact almost every video like this gets wrong about what these even are. Then the two profiles side by side, the one who is calm and the one who is chaos. Then the turn, the reason the more dangerous of the two is the one you would never point to in a crowd. And stay to the end, because I am going to tell you who these words do not describe. That line protects more people than the labels ever will. Start with the words because they are slippery. Here's the fact almost nobody leads with. Neither psychopath nor sociopath is a formal diagnosis. Open the manual clinicians actually use, and you will not find either one as its own condition. What you find is a single disorder, antisocial personality disorder, and these two words are popular labels for patterns that sit underneath it. Psychopathy, at least, has a careful description. It was drawn by a clinician named Cleckley in 1941 in a book called The Mask of Sanity, and later built into a standard checklist by the psychologist Robert Hare. Sociopath is the looser word. It has never had one agreed meaning. So keep this in your pocket the whole way through. You are not naming a diagnosis. You are naming a pattern. Now, the first profile, the one researchers would file under psychopath, the defining detail is the calm, where the rest of us feel an alarm, fear, guilt, the small flinch before a lie. This wiring runs quiet. Low anxiety, low fear. That is where the name of Cleckley's book comes from. The Mask of Sanity, on the surface, charming, composed, entirely normal. Underneath the mask, something it is there to hide. And because there is no alarm ringing, the harm tends to run cold and planned, not hot, calculated. This is also the profile most often described as wired in from the start, more nature than circumstance. Fewer nerves, more strategy, and a face you would have trusted. Now the second profile, the looser one, the one people reach for the word sociopath to describe. If the first profile is calm, this one is closer to chaos, more erratic, more impulsive. The harm here is hot, not cold, done in the moment and hidden far less carefully. And there is one difference that matters more than it first sounds. This profile is usually described as more capable of attachment, not to everyone and not to the wider world, but to a person or a small handful. There can be a narrow, genuine bond in there. And where the first profile is framed as born, this one is framed as forged by a childhood of damage, an environment that broke something that should have formed, made, not born. So why does the difference matter to you, the one standing in it? Because the two threats behave differently, and the defense against each is different. The calm one, the planner, is patient. It will not tip its hand in a single argument. It runs along, and the danger is the slow, deliberate conduct you do not see until it is finished. The chaotic one shows itself faster in the temper, the impulse, the story that will not hold, but it is far more volatile in the moment. One of them you have to outwait, the other you have to get distance from quickly. Reading which one is across the table from you is not a party trick. It is the difference between the right caution and the wrong one. Now the turn. The part you can't unsee. You would assume the more dangerous of the two is the loud one, the temper, the chaos, the visible threat. It is not. The more dangerous one is the calm one, the mask, and the reason is the exact thing that makes it so hard to believe. No alarm inside means no tell on the outside. The chaotic one leaks. It gives you a bad feeling. It trips the very instinct that keeps you safe. The calm one gives you nothing to feel, composed, reasonable, likable, right up to the edge of the harm. The most dangerous person in the room is almost never the one who looks it. It is the one you would have vouched for. And now the part I will not skip. Everything I just drew is a sketch, not a verdict. And that clean-born versus made line is popular shorthand, not settled science. The researchers who study this say the split is too neat, and that the words are used loosely even among experts. So hold this hard. Most people who came out of a rough, damaging past are not this, and nothing here is a reason to look at a survivor and see a predator. A cold personality is not a crime. A quiet person is not a suspect. Someone who hurt you once is not a case study. You cannot diagnose anyone from the outside, and neither can I. What you are allowed to read is a pattern, repeated, aimed, and leaving harm behind it. Not a soul, a direction. So how do you protect yourself without turning into a diagnostician? 3 moves. 1. Document, do not diagnose. Keep a plain record of what was actually done, not a label for who they secretly are. Behavior is evidence. A label is only an argument. 2. Watch the pattern, not the temperature. The calm ones feel safe and the chaotic ones feel dangerous, and that feeling is exactly the thing the calm one uses on you. Judge the trail of harm, not the warmth of the person. 3. When the pattern is real and repeating, you do not need the perfect word for it before you are allowed to leave. You can protect yourself from conduct you can name. Without a diagnosis you were never qualified to make. That is the difference that matters. One built in, one forged, one calm, one chaos, and the more dangerous of the two wearing the more convincing mask. But there is a harder question sitting underneath this one, not how to tell them apart. Why some of us keep walking straight toward exactly this, mistaking the calm for safety and the chaos for passion. That is not bad luck. That is a profile, and it is yours, not theirs, and that is the next case. I'm Professor Cole. Tell me in the comments which of the two you think you actually met. And if you would rather read the pattern than be read by it, subscribe. I'll read the next one with you.